This is Symphonic Choir's word building software. Let's get started. You'll notice there are 3 bars in the top left-hand corner: English, phonetics, and Votox. And these are 3 different ways that you can type in text in the text editor. If you want to use English, you can click on English and type words in English. If you want to use the phonetic language, you can type in phonetics. Or you can use Votox, which is what I highly recommend. And this is a way to just simply type things the way they sound. So let me just start with a phrase like, Jesus is the Lord. Now, if you watched me type that in, you probably thought, I really don't know what he's doing. But it's very simple. You'll notice there's a box on the top right-hand corner that says letters. And in the letter box, it shows you all the letters that you have to work with in Votox. And you'll very quickly, after spending a few minutes with it, you'll figure out what they all are. Of course, you can also read your manual, which will explain exactly how and what each letter sounds like. But you'll find all the vowels and consonants here. And what I've done is I've typed in G, and I split up every word into syllables. So it's G, zus, is, the, T exclamation is the TH sound, the Lord.
Jesus is the Lord. Jesus is the Lord. Jesus is the Lord.
You'll notice that I'm moving the mod wheel over here with my left hand, and the mod wheel just controls crossfading from soft non-vibrato to medium vibrato to heavy vibrato. So yeah, I typed that in. That sounds pretty good, but let's say I want to actually make some changes or really get in there and make it sound exactly the way I want. You'll notice if I click on anywhere within any one of these words or consonants, the screen below it, which is the time editor, changes. So let's start with the first syllable, which is G. If you look down here, you'll see the letter J and the letter E. And each letter in any word or consonant or syllable that you type in gets its own line. And basically, these are timelines, just as the time editor denotes. So you've got the letter J, which is going from the note on point for 100 milliseconds. And then shortly before it ends, the letter E comes in, and that stretches all the way till note off, which means E will sustain for as long as you hold the note. So E is looping until note off. So let's say I want to change the length of the letter J and make it much longer because I'm writing a very slow piece of music and I want a long, drawn-out J. Well, I can stretch it to as long as I want. Let's say 250 milliseconds will be a nice long J, and then maybe have the E start shortly before the end of the letter J. So now I've got a pronounced, more drawn-out J. And let's say I really wanted to get into details. I can actually control the crossfade. So I could start drawing curves and say, I want the J to sort of fade out. I don't want it to be so abrupt. And I want the E to start quite early. And I want to draw in a nice little curve so that it's a little bit smoother. Then I go to the next syllable, zus. And what I noticed about it when I did it the first time is that the S didn't seem quite pronounced enough. So also, I've got zoom buttons here on the bottom left-hand corner, so I want to zoom in a little bit so I can see more. So I want to make that S nice and long, because also just by making something long, sometimes that can make it sound louder. So let me see if I've got a better sounding Jesus.
Jesus.
That's pretty good. But let's say that letter S still is not loud enough for me. You notice there's a letter menu on the left-hand side of the interface, and I can click on the velocity control, And here at the top, you'll see it says velocity, and I can say I want to add, let's say I want to add 10 to that S. So now I've got a little bit more pronounced S. And you can do that for any vowel or any consonant in any word. Control the actual the volume of that, or you can do it just by drawing in curves as well, because that controls volume as well. For anything, you can open up volume curves. Simple as that. And let's say I go to the word Lord and I didn't hear enough R. Well, I can go to the R and make it much longer. Delay the onset of the letter D. And crossfade them, overlap them. A lot of times realism will depend on overlapping things. Sometimes crossfading them. Sometimes you just need something. Things need to breathe a little bit, so you want to actually leave a little bit of a gap. Like sometimes with the letter B or P, you kind of want to leave a little bit of a gap and then go to the next letter so that they're sort of clearly pronounced. It really depends. It's something that you'll just fool around with and get the hang of after a while.